So, are you still playing by the old marketing rules? I'm going to bet you are, and in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why that's a losing game and how AI is completely rewriting the playbook. It's time to forget everything you thought you knew about getting noticed online. Okay, let's dive right in.
Let me ask you this, straight up. Is your marketing built on sand? For years, the main goal was just to get your name on a search page any way you could, right? But you got to think of that like building a sandcastle way too close to the ocean. I mean, it looks great for a minute, but one big wave, one little algorithm update, and poof, all that hard work is just washed away. What if you could build a fortress on solid rock instead?
In this slide, right here, this is the single most important shift you need to get your head around. We are moving away from that frantic, short-term game of just chasing rankings. The new goal, the only goal that really matters now, is building permanent, unshakable authority. It really is the difference between a temporary tactic and a timeless strategy. Yep, that game has fundamentally changed. Those strategies that worked like a charm just a couple of years ago, well, today, they're liabilities. And the reason is actually pretty simple. AI thinks differently than older systems. It learns, it reasons, and honestly, it's looking for something much, much deeper than just a bunch of keywords stuffed onto a page.
Look, I'll put it bluntly, the old game is over. Just showing up in the search results is like getting a fancy invitation to a party where nobody knows who you are. Visibility without credibility is totally useless. AI's #1 job is to find the single best and most trustworthy answer, which means it is actively hunting for the definitive expert in any given field.
So that brings us right to our first massive shift. It is no longer good enough to be an option, you have got to become the authority. And this isn't just some small tweak, It's a fundamental change in your mindset, moving from those flimsy tactics to building that concrete foundation we were talking about, one that can withstand any digital storm. And the framework for all of this is something called AI Engine Optimisation, or AEO. Think of it this way. Old-school SEO was all about getting your name on the guest list for a party. AEO is about being the guest of honor that everyone at the party actually wants to talk to. It's about structuring your entire digital presence to prove to AI that you are the most reliable, most trustworthy source to learn from.
So, here's a little challenge for you. For the next week, before you post anything online, a blog, a social media update, you name it, just ask yourself this one powerful question. Does this build our authority? If the answer isn't a clear, loud yes, you should probably rethink it. Honestly, you'll be surprised at how much it clarifies your entire strategy.
All right, let's get into the second big shift. This one is all about solving problems. Because let's be real, AI is training all of us to be way more specific with our questions. We don't just type in single words anymore, do we? We ask for detailed solutions to our detailed problems.
And this example just perfectly illustrates that change. I mean, think about the last time you searched for something. You probably didn't just type restaurant. You typed something like best Italian restaurant near me that's good for kids. See? The searcher here isn't just looking for any optometrist. They're looking for an expert who can solve their exact problem.
And in this new era, your job is to provide the kind of answer that makes someone stop scrolling dead in their tracks and say, wow, that's exactly what I was looking for. It's not about having a single web page that vaguely covers a topic anymore. It's about being the most helpful, most comprehensive source for the precise questions your real customers are asking.
So for instance, instead of a generic "we treat dry eye" page, an expert practice could build out an entire content hub around a local problem, like dry eye caused by the specific air quality in their region. Notice how each of these topics answers a super specific question? This isn't just content anymore. This is a full-on demonstration of deep, specialized expertise. And that is incredibly powerful.
Okay, so you're building authority, you're solving very specific problems. But where are you doing all this? Well, that brings us to our third and final shift. You have to unify your presence. Your website used to be the main event, the star of the show. Now it's just one piece of a much larger puzzle that AI is constantly analyzing to figure out who you really are. Seriously, think of your online brand as this big puzzle, and consistency is absolutely crucial. If your address or your phone number is different across various platforms, that sends up a huge red flag to both AI and to your potential customers. It just erodes trust before you even get a chance to build it. Every single piece needs to fit together perfectly.
And this part is so important to understand, especially when we talk about reviews. AI doesn't just count your stars anymore. It uses something called semantic analysis,
which is really just a fancy way of saying it reads the words and understands their meaning and context to find patterns that prove your expertise.
So when a real customer leaves a review, just like this one, saying you were great at explaining my glaucoma diagnosis, well, that's pure gold. It's a direct signal to the AI that you are an authority on that very specific topic. That one little sentence is worth more than 100 five-star reviews that don't say anything. It's a direct testimonial. And trust me, AI is listening.
So what does this all mean when you put it all together? Well, when you combine these three shifts, building authority, solving specific problems, and unifying your brand, you're not just playing the new game. You're building that fortress we talked about at the very beginning, the one that stands on solid rock.
This table really sums it all up, doesn't it? The old fragile way was all about chasing rankings with broad content, all focused on your website. The new resilient way is about building true authority by solving specific problems across your entire unified digital brand.
And look, I know this might feel like a lot of work, but here's the really good news. This isn't some temporary hack or a loophole that you can exploit for a few months. This is a timeless strategy. If you focus on building genuine expertise and real trust, you will always be ahead of the curve no matter what technology comes next.
So I'll leave you with one final thought. What is the #1 hyper-specific question that your customers are really asking right now? If you can figure that out and become the single best answer to it, you'll be building a brand that can weather any storm. Thanks for joining me on The Explainer. I'll see you next time.